My Lord, the Chief Justice of Zambia. My Lord, may I seek leave of your courts to depart from the rules? My Lord, I notice that most people come forward and they say they stand on existing protocols. My Lord, my motion is to permit me to depart from standing on existing protocols. And the sole ground for my application is the fact that if you look at my weight, if I was to stand on the existing protocols, I may crush the protocols. My Lord, I therefore seek leave of your courts to adopt the protocols and not stand on them. My Lord, I also noticed, sir, when I looked at your profile, that you're a senior counsel or state counsel. In Nigeria, we are called senior advocates of Nigeria, of which I am one, which is equivalent of King's Counsel in the UK. And you are sitting as the Chief Justice of Zambia. I look forward to that day. That my colleagues, senior advocates of Nigeria, will also sit on the bench in Nigeria. Attorney General of the Federation, one thing to learn from Zambia. I think the last time we had a senior advocate on the Supreme Court bench was some 50 years ago with Justice Nnamani. A lot has been said about AFTA today, and Professor Abosi covered the field. But let me share examples, my personal experience coming to Zambia. I had to apply for my visa online through an agency in Singapore. An agency in Singapore, while I simultaneously also had one in the Zambian embassy in Nigeria. It was a matter of which came first. The one from Singapore came first. I spent money exporting African funds to Singapore. And yet we say African continental free trade. We want to trade without free movements. I want to collaborate with lawyers in Zambia, yet I cannot freely come to Zambia to collaborate with them on my client's interest who want to invest in Zambia. Something is wrong with us as Africans. I think before we talk about free trade, first thing first is free movement. Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, sir. He said you spoke very well at the United Nations. I think you need to also go and speak well at the African Union on this. Zambian hospitality has been fantastic since I came in on Friday. And I joke when we were coming here that I'm available to be taken by the Zambians. I am indeed available for a fee. I must commend the leadership of Mr. Hannibal Uwaifo as president of ALBA. And for a couple of days and weeks, as his tenure wound down, the concern for many of us had been how would AFPA survive after him? His energy, his commitment, his sacrifice. I will confess, I cannot be AFPA president because it means collapsing my practice, the energy he puts in. In fact, I've made a joke to him, and I think to Rudolph, that by Wednesday, I'll be surprised if he will still have his voice. As usual, after 5 days, he would have overworked himself, that his voice will be gone. So I hope, and I'm looking forward to this year being a difference. Hannibal, thank you for leadership. Thank you for your sacrifice. A couple of years ago, we had a conference, an African Bar conference. the host country had made us promises of what they were going to do. On our way out of that country, we were waiting in the lounge to board our flight. Behold, the police came and said Hannibal could not go. Why? They said the promises made by that country's bar association, law society, had not been kept and were indebted to the tune of $21,000, if I remember. I hope that won't happen to us in Zambia. And nobody will come and arrest us at the airports. And this was a conference where the host bar made promises. The president of that country was present. The vice president of another African country was there as a keynote speaker. And yet, all the bills they promised, they arrested us at the airport. What would Mr. President do? He appealed to some of us who had extras to spare. Some of them are here present. And he brought out this card and he said, this is what I'm supposed to use to pay my children's school fees. But to save Hasba, please debit that account. That is sacrifice that Hannibal made for the African people. Again, Hannibal Uwaifo, I say again, thank you for your energy, for your leadership, for your foresight in reviving. A couple of days back again, I had a discussion and they said they revived Afba that was dead. No. When you see a corpse still had flesh. Hannibal and his team revived, fleshed up a skeleton that was already decomposed in a grave with what he did with Afba. Again, thank you, Hannibal Uwaifo. For Zambian hospitality, you can trust us. Okay, my Lord, you said I have 1 minute to go. May I seek an extension of time? Thank you, my Lord. My Lord says order has prayed. We would enjoy Zambian hospitality. We would work very hard during the conference. I can assure you, in the evenings, we will also play very, very hard. I can assure you that the delegates, not just the Nigerians, you see these military people behind you in uniform, stand looking, but I can tell you they also play very hard. We all know the history of the military, especially the men. They plant seats wherever they are posted. So, Zambia, thank you for having us. My Lord CJ, thank you for having us. My Lord JCA, thank you for coming all the way. Our oil minister, thank you very much. And for all my colleagues in Silk, the Senior Counsel, Senior Advocates of Nigeria, and indeed Senior Counsel from all over, I also say thank you. We thank you very much for having us. And for the incoming administration, led by my friend, Ibrahim Mak. I call him a retired leader. That's one man who led a political group. And he made history. You know, leaders evolve. In his own case, he was officially written and retired as a leader. My leader, my friend Ibrahim Mak, our incoming president, like Chief Taku said, you can count on us. You have our support. You and Hannibal come a long way. You are good friends. You can be sure of his support. You can be sure of our support. And I can assure you, the president of FASBA, Ibrahim Mak, will work as hard. He's ordinarily a very, very, very restless person. And I can assure you, he would also take the bar higher. I will just implore all of us to also cooperate with him, give him our support. I can speak for me. You have my support. I think my AGF is looking at me. He's asking me to tell you that you have his support. You know, we have a way of connecting and conversing with our eyes. AGF, I represent you, sir, that you have his support. Once again, I thank Zambia for having us, and I thank all of us. And wish us a fruitful conference. Thank you very much.